What up? What up? What up?
You're feeling? What's going on? It's a good time to be alive. It's a good time.
This Anderson .Paak Ventura album is literally one of my top 5 albums ever.
Wow.
No skip.
Wow.
Vibe. And Anderson .Paak is like my vibe on a daily basis. Unless I gotta slap somebody, then I'm listening to like Biggie or like old school Nas or something. So it's either Anderson .Paak. It's either Anderson .Paak, it's Biggie, it's the Tribe Called Quest. I got a little Drake-ish tendencies in me.
Okay.
And then I'm usually like the Barge or something. You know what I mean? It's like those are my music.
Right on in there. Okay. It's a lot of vibes, but you're vibing. A lot of different
vibe, yo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Culture Gumbo podcast, where we bring you everything that matters to you, politics, music, things that matter to you that you want to hear about. And then we sprinkle in a little bit of our opinions, you know what I'm saying? You know how Shakira do, my lovely co-host. Introduce yourself.
The opinionator. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode. Episode 9 is what we're doing today. I was like, wow, we're on episode 9? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, train. Okay, we moving. I like it.
We in there, yo. We killing it.
I like it.
Our social media pages should be up by the time this episode drops. So you can definitely follow us at Culture Gumbo on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on Twitter. Which our Twitter takes, let me tell you right now, you're probably gonna cancel us for it. So I don't even really care. I'm just gonna let you know we are very unfiltered. Grandmama, I'm sorry for cussing, but I was told the 4-letter words make you intelligent in the long run.
Or it makes your chest hair grow if you're a man, and maybe something else grow if you're a woman. Even though we don't have that.
I mean, I don't know about that, but sure, whatever floats your boat. But we got a beautiful, beautiful show today. Shakira, let us know what we got going on here.
So we are starting off with something that just hit home and was really good this week. We're going to talk about Tabitha Brown and the host, talk show host, radio show host, former radio show host, Wendy Williams. Now, if you did not see what was going down on social media this week, you missed it. So Wendy Williams has a episode or a segment on her talk show called Hot Topics. That's where she does a quick rundown of recent events and their quote unquote hot topics. Now, I would have never thought that Tabitha Brown would be a part of her hot topics, because normally hot topics is a little more raunchy. It's a little, I watch Wendy Williams, so it's always some type of scandal or some type of juicy gossip. So to throw Auntie Tab, and the Tabby Patch, because that's my thing, Tabby Patch now.
I saw that, yo.
I love it. So she mentioned that a few days prior, Tabitha Brown had mentioned that her husband was on the LAPD force for 15 years, and she felt like it was time for her to retire him because he sacrificed getting a job when they first moved out to LA and working while she pursued her dream. Who wouldn't want a supportive spouse / husband and father to go ahead and make that sacrifice while she gets her acting career on and everything else that she's doing today? So now she's with seasonings, cookbooks, social media presence, The Shy, so many avenues that she has her hands in.
She's on a Calm app too, though.
She's making that money. Oh yeah, and the Calm app, which I would listen to her too. I'm looking forward to buying the seasonings before they're sold out. I've had the hair products. She got the biotin. I mean, she's doing everything. She is really a true inspiration right now, because she's not new to this. She's been doing videos forever, but I say all that to say she's the sweetest person alive. She's not somebody that you would want to come after. So Wendy Williams says, oh, she's gonna retire her husband. Like, I wouldn't, like, I've been there, done that, and we see how that turned out. The difference is, well, I'll ask, what are your take on the fact of a woman, after being with someone for 20 plus years, deciding she makes enough money that her husband gets to go and pursue his dreams and do whatever it is his heart desires? What is your take on that? Do you feel a certain kind of way if a woman makes more money than a man? Let's throw that out.
I mean, considering the fact that, and these are her words, that he basically, he carried the family while she got to her dreams. You know what I'm saying? That's literally a part of it. When you have a partner, if there's somebody out here who can really win, you know what I'm saying? If I marry a woman and she's out here and she really got a gift and I want to see that gift expand, I'm gonna do what I got to do for our family, because in the long run, it's paying off for our family.
And how dangerous is it to be a police officer in the 2000s?
Yeah, and you have to watch, if you get a chance, watch Black Love on OWN. And it talks about their relationship and like the ups and downs and like how they got where they were and like the ultimate delay. It's like, yo, if you have the opportunity to do it, then sure. And then he's been with the LAPD, with everything that's been going on the past couple of years. Right. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Black police officer out here. It makes it even crazier for the family. But I mean, sure, why not? You know what I mean? Like, if it comes down to it, as a man, especially for him, because when you listen to him speak, you can tell, like, he about his business.
Right. And I didn't even know he was a police officer. That wasn't something that was like.
Yeah, he's a police officer. He runs like a basketball camp. Like, he does a lot, man. So it's just like, if you got a chance to do it, man, that's the ultimate goal for your spouse, is to be able to be like, yo, hey, go ahead and, retire. You carry this for this long. Let me go ahead and do the heavy lifting. Whitney just bitter. You know what I'm saying? We saw her situation play out on TV. And that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of confused as to why so many people watch her or talk about inspiration when they see her. Because, like, yo, she literally has made a career out of attacking and bullying and slandering people. And then, like, you can't, listen, you can't hit me and then hide your hands, because I'm going to punch you in the face regardless.
And she's a hider. She's not a fighter.
Yo, the read that Tabitha Brown gave this lady, she hit her with the bless you. I hope you fine. And I was like,
and when you say that, it was like, because I had an interpretation. It was, you're bitter, your marriage didn't work, your husband took all your money, he been taking your money, and you don't really know what real love is, or you don't really even know what a real relationship is. So don't come into my house and talk anything about me or my husband, because you don't have the slightest clue of what real love is. And this is a marriage that's based on God and the principles of how we should pattern our marriage. So there's no perfect marriage, but one thing is for sure, they got each other's support and love. So it was like, go sit back down, figure out what you're doing with your life. And because my husband didn't take my money and run with it, yours did, and had a baby after it. And everybody who I've met her husband before, I know people who know her husband, he's a jerk. He was a jerk. Okay, well, her husband, ex-husband. And so I say all that to say, like, he'd been running your career. You didn't know what was going on. So it's a difference. Her husband wasn't running her career. Her husband was supporting her career. She put other people in place to take care of the finances. And whenever her husband needs to help her with packaging, or we doing the Fridays with Tab and Chance, it was because she wanted him a part of her dream, not because she made her dream him and he's now gonna retire and taking over all her money. No. They in this together, and it's about support. So the reality is, yes, Wendy, go figure out what real love is, because if you knew what that was, you actually wouldn't put your mouth on somebody else's marriage. And the fact that she said that, like, this marriage is doomed. She said, I hope this is going to be a rocky marriage. And it's like, chick, no, your marriage was rocky, not hers. So
you got to pick and choose your battles. And I'm not about to sit up here and battle with Jesus's daughter. Like, that's Tabitha Brown really might be Jesus's daughter. I've never seen, and I said, we don't know what it's like behind closed doors, but I'm sure it's basically the same.
But we've seen her elevate. We've seen what God can do in her life. She's
super unproblematic. Like, just leave it alone. Like, yo, you should have just swallowed that bee, and you should have like talked about somebody else. But you know, to each his own. And they was really in her comments with the avocados, which I don't even know what that's about, but hey, be it. That's how the Beehive gonna be in your comments when they see some of these old episodes.
No,
talking out of pocket.
No, they won't.
We'll see. Don't
hate her. I just not paying for her concert.
Y'all don't be up in my joint. But moving on. Bill Cosby,
yes,
was released from prison this past week. I'm not clapping for that shit.
I'm clapping.
Listen, Bill Cosby was released from prison not because he is not a rapist. Bill Cosby was released from prison because the dumbass people that prosecuted him did not realize that there was already a deal in place where he could not be prosecuted for what he admitted in what I believe was a civil suit.
Right.
I grew up, you know, Bill from Philly, the Cosby Show, love is love. You can never take away what Bill did with the Cosby Show. Nope. But this motherfucker was literally, I was, you know, talking to my mom about it. This motherfucker was literally in comedy shows telling you he was dropping Quaaludes. Like, yo, Bill was out here doing it.
So, real talk, I don't support rapists. I don't support people who drug people to get what they want. I don't support that. So when I clap, I'm not clapping because I feel like he never did it. I'm not clapping because he don't deserve an outcome either. But what I am clapping is for the stupid justice system that we have. It's like, okay, you're gonna go put him behind bars, but then somebody could shoot up mass killing shooting of a whole school of kids, and then they you know, it's a messed up justice system that we have, point blank period. And I feel like, should he have served in some capacity? Yes. Should he have had some repercussions for what he did? Yes. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But I also feel like he got off on technicality, like you said. And I just think that it could have been handled differently.
And see that I agree with. Like when people were cheering about it, I was like, man, like you gotta watch how you're doing that, yo, because there's victims involved and it looks really insensitive. I understand people cheering because, yo, you know, when you get to see, you know, prosecution or something like that fail, especially considering the fact, you know, of how they go about it.
Especially how Pennsylvania is.
You consider it a win. The issue is how they went about doing it. Not only did they go about doing it in such a snake way, but they didn't even hide the fact that in the matter that they went about doing it. So this kind of came back to bite them in the butt. And the deal that they provided him was something that, you know, when I'm watching it and I'm hearing about it, that's something that people don't offer. You know what I mean? So that was pretty weird.
Right.
The blowback that has come from this to the incomparable Miss Felicia Rashad, it sucks. It sucks, but unfortunately, I hate to say this, it's warranted.
But here's
because
you knew how she felt before she got hired at Howard. Now I am a fellow Bison. Today they had a whole clubhouse of HU Bison talking in a clubhouse about how Felicia Rashad should get fired. So then I went to my handy dandy Facebook group of my fellow Bison, and a lot of them were like, "Are we still talking about this?"
Yeah.
B, the other piece was they knew her stance. They also had to ask her stance before they hired her, because Howard just went, oh, it's Felicia, let's put her on. Like, no, like it is a process to be in that role that she's coming into the fall. And so they knew her stance, and I'm sure that it was asked because they, in the media, you're going to get, a lot of backlash. They don't want students to not come, parents to not, and so forth. So I feel like I just think she feels like it's not that she agrees that he didn't do it either. I just think that this is he's already in his 80s. He was going to die anyway at some point soon. And so it's like, was it warranted to have to put him in there at this age?
I mean, a rapist is a motherfucking rapist, whether he
right. But a lot of times, I get it, but this could have happened. Like, you made sure you made your money. You made sure you got everything you could out of this man before you decided to. This is not the first allegation that he had against him. And so my thing is, sometimes in the society that we're in, we'll brush it to the side of all the things people are saying people did. Look at R. Kelly. They could have been put him in prison. But they made sure they got what they needed out of him before it was like, throw him in jail.
So,
I mean, I know that's a whole different.
I tread lightly on this subject because I understand. I get it. When Felicia Rashad made her statement, I'm gonna be honest, I thought she was talking about in the way that they handled the case. That's what I interpreted it as. Right. I didn't interpret it at her as her saying, free Bill, Bill need to get out, Bill didn't do it. Right. I didn't interpret it as that. I do, however, understand from a victim standpoint of like, yo, that's an ill-timed tweet. And the thing about it is, and anybody will tell you, yo, I love Felicia Rashad. Her and Debbie Allen are like the end all be all for me. But the thing about it is that when the statement came, and I believe she admitted it herself, it was ill-timed in the manner that she did it. And I believe she probably could have worded it in a way where people understood it.
Is the most sensitive society of a lifetime. Like,
okay, but you got to think about it from a logical standpoint of rape, though, yo. Like, we're not talking about something like simple. We're talking about rape in the era of the Me Too movement and in the era of like women literally speaking out. Right. Like, this is what we're talking about. You have to be able to understand, especially coming from a public relations standpoint. Yo, her people should have been like, yo, Felicia, you're like, I understand you want to do this, but let's carefully word something better than what was out there.
There's nobody for that. She didn't ask anybody.
She should have.
Out of her emotion, and that was that. But they're not firing her. Let's just put it out. They're not going to fire.
Well, no, I'm glad they're not. I do believe firing her is too far. Like, yo, she made a mistake. She immediately rectified that mistake. I believe literally within the hour, if I'm not mistaken, when she stated her stance on that. I don't believe in firing her, but I do understand where people are coming from with being upset. Like yo was saying, like think about this from this standpoint, and it's not the same thing. Think about like the George Floyd incident, right? If Derek Chauvin would have got out and somebody would have dropped the tweet and been like, oh, a carriage of misjustice, oh, he's free, we would have been up in arms.
No, like I completely understand. Although those are, totally
two vastly different. But I mean, I'm speaking from the statement of a serious situation of whatever you feel.
No, when I first seen the tweet, I was shocked initially that she was so vocal, because I don't feel like she was that vocal prior.
She was.
And
she was. That's why I said this ain't the first time.
So in that, but that's what I'm saying. So in that instance, you already knew where she was. And regardless of what, sometimes you care and sometimes you don't. And in this situation, she didn't.
Well, in her original statement that she made the first time, like when he first got prosecuted, in her original statement, she said something about supporting Bill also. But immediately when that backlash came, she also came out and said, I don't, I'm not supportive of, rape, this, and that, and the other.
And that's the thing. It's not supporting rape. She's not supporting rape. Nobody's supporting rape. If anybody's supporting rape or supporting that, oh, these people are lying, I'm not saying that, because rape is rape. No is no. We know that. And there's nothing there's nothing behind that.
I'm definitely glad that she's not getting fired, but I do want this to be a learning lesson, a learning lesson for a lot of people, man, especially celebrities out here. Like, yo, you can't, this is not the culture anymore where you can just fully come out and just say whatever the hell you're thinking.
But it is.
There's not going to be repercussions.
But that is what
you can say it, but it's gonna be repercussions for it. Like, you can't just come out here and free ball and do that shit.
That's what Twitter and Instagram and everything has thrown out there now, that you can tweet and say whatever you want to say, whether that you're the president of the United States or Felicia Rashad. It doesn't matter. And that's the sad part, because my thing is, America has taken this whole freedom of speech to a whole nother level, because everybody can say whatever they want and they can do whatever they want. And there's no restriction. That's why when you go to certain countries, you can't even get on a lot of websites because the country has banned it, because it's just not a free for all. But we're so free here that you can say and do whatever you want.
I just don't think in this, I just don't think that that's the hill to die on. I just don't think that's worth it, especially when you can come out and you can clearly state your stance before you say it. There's just certain things that you just know.
Sometimes you're still human. There is sometimes you're gonna say something, and regardless of what was out of your emotion or not, you're gonna say it. And
you just went out the window for her the first time she said it. I'm sorry.
Right, but she didn't think anything of it clearly, or she wouldn't have made it the second time.
Yeah, but you got to, and you got a whole machine behind you to make sure that this is why people get hired for public relations. Like, for instance, if you look at which I'm not sure if you guys are privy on it, the ESPN situation with Rachel Nichols. You know what I mean? With the whole diversity thing. That's LeBron's PR advisor that's on the phone with her. He should know better too. There are instances where, as an adult, you have to know better. Using this freedom of speech thing is not something that you can use on a consistent basis. You have to have some kind of common
better and decide not to care. That's all I'm saying.
Well, if you decide not to care when they cancel your ass or they fire your ass, or the pitchforks start to come off of your ass, then it's on you. Can't nobody feel bad for you after that. So,
right.
I mean, I'm glad she's not being fired.
Some people are okay with those repercussions.
And Bill's old trifling that has jumped on it and come out talking about he's supporting and freedom of speech and this and that and the other. Listen, I love the Cosby Show. I love A Different World. I love what Bill Cosby has provided to us as a community and as Black people. But I can't support the shit that he's done. Not only can I not support the shit that he's done,
that's where
not only can I not support the shit that he's done, I also can't support the fact that this is the same man who was literally trashing the Black community right before he went the fuck in. Like, people want to forget that. I'm not capping for no fucking Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby wasn't capping for us. Maybe in the 70s and in the 80s he was. But the older this motherfucker has gotten, the more senile and out of pocket he has gotten. And he has said some things that he probably shouldn't have said. Him and Judge Joe Brown can go sit in the motherfucking corner somewhere.
He's not the only one.
He ain't, but hey, you Bill Cosby. If you put yourself on that pedestal and you do it, then you do it. I can't. It's not for me or anybody else to decide whether he's guilty or not. I mean, he stated that he did it. He stated that he was giving them the quaaludes, but none of us was there. But the fact of the matter is that you can't okay this behavior. Like, people okay this behavior and they're cheering for Bill and, oh, Bill should have got let out, this and that and the other. Yo, my man was admitting it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get it.
You can't. It's hard to defend a motherfucker who admitted it.
But it's not defending. Nobody's defending him.
Well, I'm not saying you, but there's a lot of people defending him.
I don't defend them because that's
there's a lot of people defending it, man, and folks trash. It's all fun and games, man, until it's your kid or it's your situation, and now all of a sudden you crying and you want somebody to support you. Like, yo, you gotta be careful, man. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And Joe Brown, how the fuck is Joe Brown still a judge? Did you hear what Joe Brown said on
I did not hear what he said.
Black News Network? Yo, Joe Brown was saying that these women should be accountable and they was whores and they was taking advantage. Huh?
How does he know that?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying about out of pocket. The people who are defending Bill Cosby, not Felicia Rashad in this instance, but the people who are defending Bill Cosby have the same sentiments that Joe Brown has. How the fuck is he still a judge, bro? That man is senile and old.
Watching. People are still watching him. There's a lot of people are still watching.
TV show anymore. I don't think he has a TV show anymore.
I don't think he has a TV show. I think but he didn't take the TV show because they didn't offer. He wanted more money.
No, he was going there. You had to see Mark Lamont Hill's face when he was talking about this. Like, yo, when he was, yo, it was like an episode of the Boondocks.
There's also the people that want to stay relevant, so they're just talking to talk. You know what I mean? Like they want to stay. They want people to keep talking about them. So
he got to shut the fuck up.
So
don't nobody want to hear no dusty ass Joe Brown talking no more, man. He got to go about his business, man.
Right.
But
I'm not a Joe Brown fan. So
going from one Brown to another.
Yes.
The last verses that just dropped, Shakira, I know you're excited to talk about that.
I have watched it, I think 4 times now. Bobby Brown, it was so funny though, because watching it with different groups of people was totally different reactions. So I watched it myself and I enjoyed it. I sat, I sung, I laughed. I never knew Keith Sweat was this funny until verses. In the first half, he was cool, calm, collective. The second half, he was drunk. He was drunk. He was cracking jokes. Then when I watched it the third time, I realized how much he was kind of side-eye laughing at Bobby Brown because he knew he really didn't sound that good. And he couldn't really sing like that. And so when I watched it with my mom, she was dying laughing because she's like, Bobby Brown sounds horrible, you know. But my thing is, they don't have to sing. He don't have to sing like that. Like, he's had a long-standing career. It was very nostalgic. They played some a lot of old Keith Sweat. I didn't realize has so many great hits. And he even admitted like he's a beggar. He was like, I love to beg. I'm a beggar. That's what I do on my music. Because I used to always say that too, like he whines too much. But it was a very enjoyable show. And it was good to see Bobby Brown's son there with his wife and seeing him just kind of pattern after him. And, you know, I just thought about how much losses Bobby Brown had and between his ex-wife and his daughter and his son and his personal health. And so it was like grateful that we had the opportunity to see them perform live and be able to appreciate them and give them their flowers now, because life is hard and you don't know what you're going to go through. But in the end, this was the most entertaining to me because I'm an old head. I really enjoyed this versus. So if you have not seen it, please, it's on YouTube. Watch it.
I gotta go back and watch it, but from what everybody told me, Bobby ain't even do his hits.
Well, so here's the thing. He didn't do a lot of his hits, but he still did some good stuff. He still did some good stuff. But the thing about it is with verses, you have to get clearance. And because Bobby had a few different record companies, you know, some of them was not going to let go and clear a lot of his hits. So it's a real hard battle just to get the clearance for them to even play it on there. So I knew and I understood like, dang, he didn't do this, but he did do Ghostbusters. I was happy about that because that was big. He
couldn't do like Tenderoni and none of them joints.
Nope. And I was just like, no, he did Tenderoni. Oh, he did a few. Some, I think two. I was like, I don't even know what this is. This must have been on some random soundtrack. But, but other than that, it was really good, and I think you should definitely watch. It's just cool, even if you just chilling at home doing nothing. It's cool to kind of just sit back and dance. So.
Bobby had a run, yo. Bobby had a like the ultimate run from like 88 to 90.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know what? It's weird finding out that like some of his biggest hits, Ralph Tresvant is actually the person singing.
Yeah.
Which I did not know. Did Keith Sweat do the McDonald's song?
The what?
The McDonald's song.
No. What's the
McDonald's? You remember a couple years ago there was a McDonald's song where the black dude is like singing in the rain about McNuggets?
No, but he did sing to the Ciroc cup.
The song is like, I woke up and found you creeping, tick tock, tick.
No.
Oh, girl, I know your secret. And she's like, what? And he's like, you got that McNuggets loving.
I have never heard
that. Yo, you have to go see the commercial. The commercial was so fucking popular back in the day. Keith Sweat wrote that commercial.
I've never seen it. That is so funny. Okay, I'm gonna play that.
Keith Sweat gets mad residuals. I love that fucking commercial.
He played some LSG. I didn't know he wrote a few LSG songs.
Yeah, shout out to LSG, my favorite singer, Gerald Levert.
Yes,
all right. I'm trying to put Gerald Levert in a biopic.
Oh, that'll be dope.
I'm trying to do that. I got to get, Gerald
Levert. Yeah, so
I don't want to do it on like Lifetime.
Lifetime sucks when it comes to casting.
I need to be legit. Like,
I mean, not that y'all suck, but the biopics is very few that had good casting or good wigs.
So who do you want to see in the next verses? In the perfect verses world, who is the next one that you will see?
I would like to see, and I thought about this before. Busta Rhymes and Eminem would be good. Busta Rhymes and Eminem. They don't have to be alike, but both of them have really great hits, great energy. It would be a really good, because everybody want to say Busta Rhymes and Missy, and I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. Like I don't see them doing that.
Busta Rhymes and Eminem, I can't.
They both have a lot of hits.
With all due respect, I don't want to see a verse of Eminem. And that's not a slight on him.
I'm just an Eminem.
I'm not a big Eminem fan.
I would like to see an Eminem. Yeah, that would be it. I definitely want Missy. I definitely need Mary. Mary is a must. I'm waiting for a versus with Mary.
Mary's not gonna do it.
She's gonna do it eventually.
Mary already said she's not gonna do it. She said she don't see a point in doing it. And there's only two people who can really challenge Mary in the verses anyway.
Oh, not Faith. We don't want to see Faith anyway. We don't.
Wow, I didn't say nothing about the Faith take your man. What happened?
No, I love Faith, but I feel like
you got mad aggressive there.
Because
you need to go back and rewatch.
After I seen her in the DMX repass, I was sad. Like,
there's only two people.
Vocals.
There's only two people who can truly match up with Mary in the verses, and that's Mariah and Janet. But the only person I think, the person I think who would truly get her is Janet, because I love Mary.
No, but
and I love Mary, and Mary whole second joint is a vibe, yo. But Janet.
Yeah, but Janet got hits. I don't think you have to be Janet and Madonna. You can't even put
Madonna don't want that smoke with Janet.
They both got hits.
Madonna don't want that smoke with Janet. Madonna does not want. Let me tell you something.
Both dance. They got hits. I would love to see that.
Sierra dance. You ain't trying to see Sierra go up against Janet Jackson, are you?
I'm not trying to see Sierra go up against anyone.
Yo, you're so disrespectful. You're so disrespectful, yo. Listen,
I like Sierra.
You have to understand. Janet has, whereas like,
but why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Mary got one solid joint, no skips, right?
She does.
She got now. It don't take away from Mary joint, because don't come for me. I love Mary,
I
For
would.
one joint, no skips. Yo, Jenna has control.
Why would you do that? You wouldn't
She
do
has she has Rhythm Nation.
that. We would want
You
to
got
see
the
it by itself.
you got the Velvet Rope.
No, we don't.
You
We
got Janet. All for You got a whole bunch of burn. Like
no.
everybody keeps talking about Mary J. Blige. Nobody wants to see Janet in the verses. Nobody.
Janet would have to do a D'Angelo and be by herself. I don't.
Nobody.
Janet can't go against anybody.
I want to see. I was spoiled because I got to see Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. Which Jill, if you're watching
That was
this,
really
I love
good.
you. Call me. We need to talk. I know you out here single in these streets. I miss you. Shout out to my cousin Damon. My cousin Damon's supposed to put me on with Jill Scott, but then be out here blocking. I love you, cousin. Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, but nobody is saying Outkast and a Tribe Called Quest.
People have said that.
We need that. The culture and the fact that they were getting ready to drop a joint album right before
have performed together.
Probably the Outkast tour joint that they did in Atlanta, where they did like the 2-night show when like me and my people went to. It was an amazing
That
show.
would be dope. I would totally. But then they were saying Outkast and Goody Mob. How do you feel about that?
Goody ain't got enough.
I don't think so.
Goody ain't got enough. I think because Outkast and Tribe was getting ready to do a joint album before Phife died.
Oh, I believe that. That would be really dope.
3 Stacks said it in the interview actually. So I want to see that one. Everybody wants to see Busta. I would love to see Busta and LL because I think that's a vibe. Or you could do Busta and Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying? You got Leaders of the New School and you got Tribe. It's a couple joints that you can do out here. I mean, the new era joints is cool and all, man, but I want to see the old heads, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. I want to see the Barge and the Jacksons get up in that joint.
I would want to see KRS.
You know what I'm saying? Put the Barge and the Jacksons up in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want it with L.
You want to see who's left?
Don't nobody want it. Let me tell you something. Hold on now. Don't disrespect the DeBarge family. Because the DeBarge family got hits.
No, DeBarge whole family is
exactly. You got DeBarge, you got Switch, you got L Album, you got Chico. Yo, don't listen.
I would want to see the Monoliths too.
You could do Joe versus Music Soul Child.
No, you can't because both of those are my favorite, and I would really be torn. And I'd probably just I can't do this. I probably would just have to turn it off.
It's supposed to be a celebration of music. Why can't you just vibe?
I know, but I really love both of them as artists. I am 50, I'm there. I'm waiting.
I just want them to go back to doing it how they did it before, where you know what I'm saying, where they was out here and they was just shouting each other out and this, that, and the other. I mean, I like some of the matchups recently, but it just seemed like they come into it wanting to beef. Motherfucker, just play the songs and chill out, man. Let's vibe out.
Right.
So. But it is what it is. So we'll see who comes up.
I'm looking forward to it.
Up next, Sha'Carri Richardson. What are your thoughts on that situation with her in the Olympics? And
it's messed up. It's messed up because so there's another side. I'm going to say both of them. Okay. One side is we know that the rules of the Olympics are super strict. They've been like that for years.
Right.
So in that aspect, it's I wish she would have waited, right, to smoke until after this because how strict and just sometimes the eyes are against you just because they don't want to see you win. Yeah. Off of those grounds, because they don't want to see you win. The other piece is where she lives, weed is legal. Weed does not make you go faster. So the fact that she may have had a day or after a whatever afternoon and she smoked, it wasn't going to stop her from being who she is. It's not like steroids. It's not a athletic enhancing drug. It is to calm you down, mellow you out. If anything, she was gonna go to sleep. Plus, she had just lost her mom, didn't really know how to cope with it. That's where that whole PR thing you talked about earlier comes in with how do you cope with those life situations? She's young. She's only like 22, 23.
This is from a reporter that her mom died.
Yeah, she mentioned that her mom died a week before that.
Yeah, but they were saying that that's how she found out. Apparently, I'm not sure if that's true or not. Is that true?
I didn't hear that. I just read where she said my mom died a week before, and I didn't know how to cope with it. Right. So I smoked, and she admitted, hey, this wasn't the best decision to make, considering that I'm going to the Olympics. So my thing is, she owned her truth. She accepted, the repercussions. Do I feel like she should have been suspended for 30 days? No. I feel like it should have been a slap on the wrist and keep it moving, because it's not like she was running high or any of that. And then it's just, there's a double standard that some athletes have had in the past, where now you're trying to cripple this girl. And I understand it's because you don't want to see her win. And I get it. But at the end of the day, it's real messed up. I'm glad that in the 30 days, she'll have the time and still be eligible to go to the Olympics. But
she can go to the relay, right?
Yeah, but it's messed up either way, because it's like, okay, now that we know that, get her help, figure out the right way. And it's weed. It's not, she gonna die. It ain't coke.
So I agree with everything you said, and you are correct. The one thing that we have to remember is that this is not a U.S. thing.
I know,
but it's global, unfortunately.
Right.
And that's where it comes into play. You could tell immediately when it happened that globally they were going to do it. I mean, if you look at how Black women are being treated, in the Olympics, from them not allowing them to wear the caps, to the whole testosterone issue with the young ladies. I believe I want to say, it's somewhere in Africa, a country in Africa. I can't remember exactly where. But they were saying their testosterone levels were too high for like the 400, but they could do it for the 200 or something. I think it was testosterone. I don't know what it was. Oh, estrogen levels. And it's a lot of fishy shit that goes on as far as inequities and how we're treated in general. I love the support that she's gotten.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, like Shorty went through it, and like immediately, like, yo, we adopted her. Like, yo, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the support that she's gotten has been amazing. I don't think this should warrant her losing it, because, like you said, weed is not about to make you go faster. You know what I'm saying? If anything, weed probably gonna make you hungry. It's gonna make you sleepy. If anything,
function. All right.
But the fact that Shorty was out here really like smoking the L, and she was coming out here and she was burning y'all, like,
there's a lot. What is she gonna do straight up to clean her system in these 30 days,
like,
and wipe y'all out for real?
Like, get it together. Like, I just thought that was amazing. I hate that weed is still an issue, whether it be within the States or globally. Like, at some point we have to let it go. As a person that deals with anxiety and depression, smoking the L make you feel lovely. You know what I'm saying? Calms down the mood, calms down the vibes. I ain't got the lungs that I had before. My brothers, whatever. But it definitely does something for you when you're going through it, especially from the medicinal standpoint. Because ain't nobody smoking no Reggie. Right. But I do think that that's something that should be looked at immediately. I love Joe Biden's thoughts on it. You know what I mean? Joe Biden didn't shy away from it. He was like, yeah, he said the same thing Ron said. The rules are the rules, but we have to ask is when these rules should be changed. A lot of these rules that we have in place in these international competitions are completely outdated. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we have to look into making adjustments for the times. And we're going over to Tokyo, and you're battling everything from wearing a headscarf for your hair, to, not being able to speak up for, Black Lives Matter, to everything else. It's like, you want us to go over there and you want to muzzle us. Steven Jackson, a former NBA player, he was like, yo, we should boycott. And while I'm not completely for a boycott, I do understand, because if you take away most of these Black athletes from these competitions from any country, it's not, the Olympics are not going to be as big
competition anymore. It's
You know
not
what
a
I'm saying?
competition anymore.
So it's just one of those things where I do think a lot of things have to be changed. Definitely praying for her, and we'll continue to pray for her, man, because she's going through a lot in this
a lot of
long
pressure.
time. I saw a video recently of the LSU women, like LSU former athletes, actually did a video like tribute to her, which I thought was amazing. The last thing I want to cover about this is I don't know if you saw the statement from the Australian reporter Claire Lehman.
I did. It was ridiculous.
She made a ridiculous statement about her nails and her hair, and then she had the audacity to say that she was suffering. She had the same issues as Flojo, and Flojo had issues with steroids, and that's how she died. You need to watch your motherfucking mouth. You can't. Number one, you don't bring up the dead. Number two, you don't bring up the dead when you're completely wrong. You watch your motherfucking mouth about Flojo.
She said that her nails are an indication that she's on steroids. And from Black to white to Asian, the comments were, do you not understand the beauty industry? Do you not understand that these aren't her nails, son? Like, and her nails, and do you think her eyelashes is real too? Like, and it's the ignorance. It's like and that's the thing. Some people have platforms that really shouldn't have platforms, because you have a platform and you're just saying stuff out of your mouth and you don't really know. You have no facts behind it. You have no history behind it to even talk about Flojo, who was one of the greatest. It's unnecessary, uncalled for. But again, she has a platform, so she feel like she can say it. And I didn't see anyone that agreed with anything she said. So she's doing
it's something too common though, yo. Like, these women come out of their mouths and they make these statements and these racist statements. You know what I'm saying? It's completely out of pocket, because where, you know exactly where they're coming from. And that's what's frustrating about it the most, is that you get behind your keyboard and you make these statements and you come out of pocket. Eventually somebody gonna check you. You know what I'm saying? And at some point it has to stop. But we want to continue to cheer our sister on and wish her well. You know what I'm saying? She gonna end up dominating again in the future anyway.
She's about to kill the game, because now you just gave her more heat and more fire to really come out here and just smoke y'all. Just smoke y'all in the lane, smoke y'all side. Like, her check's gonna be coming through. Nike didn't drop her. Nike, like, listen, we support her. Keep going. She didn't lose no endorsements. So if anything, she's gonna go higher and higher. And I fully support it. And people don't recognize that, like, she's young. She's growing, she's learning, she's maturing, and it's a lot of pressure on you when the world is rooting for you. Not the whole world, but her world. And that's all that matters. So
they're definitely rooting for it, because they out here in droves. You can't go anywhere on Twitter or Facebook or any place and not see them cheering.
Like she said, I'm human. Like, to sit here and judge me, judge yourself. So
they're not gonna do that either way. One thing that actually happened right before the show, did you hear about what we're actually just talking about? The ESPN story with Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor.
I did not.
So Rachel Nichols is
I listened to, but I know, I'm familiar with
Rachel Nichols is the host of the NBA Jump. It's like a daily television show that covers the NBA. She's an NBA beat reporter. I believe she's like the niece of Diane Sawyer.
Oh. Okay.
and somebody else. And Maria Taylor is a black woman. Maria Taylor, she literally covers everything from football to college football to professional basketball to the NBA, everything. There was a hot recording of Rachel Nichols talking to LeBron James's PR advisor, a white guy, and they were talking about the issue of diversity and how she loves Maria Taylor, but she was frustrated because Maria Taylor was given the I believe the NBA final the NBA playoff position that she stated that she was supposed to have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that it was because ESPN was having issues with their crummy practices of diversity. And while Maria, she said something along the lines of, while Maria is a wonderful person, don't take it from me. And LeBron's PR advisor is literally in the call stating about, how he agrees. And it's something along the lines of being tired about as far as how to deal with the Me Too, I believe Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matter movement. This set off a stream of a bunch of stuff. Definitely read it for yourself because for me it's all over the place. I don't have too much to say on this. The one thing I'll say is that there's a lot of people coming to the defense of Rachel Nichols, and then there was an apology right before we actually started recording, where it was an apology, but it wasn't an apology.
Of course.
So definitely take a look at it. But ESPN got some issues.
We know that. But it's sad because some of the things that we're still talking about today, and to say you're tired of a movement when it's only a movement because nobody was moving the issue. It's like, okay. So I'm
I just think what's crazy to me is that above all else, it was LeBron's like PR advisor. Right. Like, this is like the biggest athlete in the world, and he's the advocate, and you're making these statements, and it's like,
see how this turns out for him.
Man, it was rough, and like I said, she came out and she made her statement, and she did her apologies, and the thing, and just more information. This is exactly what she said in the recording. And it was caught on a hot mic. She said, "I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball," Nichols said in July 2020. "If you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity," which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it from me or taking my things away.
Wow. That says a lot.
They said that she's reached out to Maria Taylor on numerous occasions. Maria Taylor has chosen not to respond.
Right. Why should she?
And here's the crazy thing about it. The New York Times said that Taylor, whom executives had asked numerous times to change her interactions with Nichols, said that the only people punished by the ESPN's actions were women of color. Producer Kayla Johnson, who shared this with Maria Taylor and with the HR. Maria Taylor herself and the three sideline reporters, Lisa Salters, Cassidy Hubert, and Malika Andrews, who are all Black women. Right. All these women received lesser assignments so that Nichols could have the lead sideline reporter role, and now we're not being allowed to appear on the show live. Currently, Maria Taylor is going through contract negotiations, which is why all this is coming out now. So, yeah.
So stay tuned. In other words,
definitely.
But somebody gonna reach out to her.
Well, I see the look on your face, and you got so much you want to say about it. But I'm gonna get your thoughts on it as soon as you watch it.
Yeah,
Um,
watch it.
let's go over a few quick hits before we get out of here. The NCAA players can now be paid. What do you think?
I don't know much about the NCAA players. Don't know.
You got to do better. You got to do better. So college athletes can now be paid.
Sports like that.
Okay. Well, you gotta watch the news. Okay, this is part of your job.
I watch
College athletes can now be paid while they're in college, so they can sign endorsement deals. They can do things of that nature.
I don't know how I feel about that. Here's the why.
Okay.
So I feel like there should be a cap on it, because I think that as a college player, like, it's not that you didn't earn your keep or anything like that, but I don't want you to think that you're in the league, like you have made it. And I feel like sometimes even with athletes that just get drafted, like, there's so much to learn and so much they blow through, and there's a lot of maturity that still has to happen. So I don't wholeheartedly agree with giving that much power that early, because it's going to cause conflict and could cause conflict on the same team. So it depends if what they're doing to make them ready for that. That's how I feel about that.
Okay.
Because I do think there's a maturity level you have to have. I even think that your ego can't be but so far, and because some players are then going to get offered. They're not going to offer everybody on the team.
Well, Master P just signed a $2 million deal. He's going to HBCU. He just signed a $2 million deal. He's one of the first players to actually sign it.
But Master P kids are pretty humble. They don't have a choice. The Master P is their dad. So okay. I'm not against them making money. No, I just think that there needs to be some guidance along the way too.
Get paid, young P. Can get paid. Don't nobody care nothing about that. Get your money, dog. You know what I'm saying? And get Reggie Bush his damn Heisman Trophy
money so much that you ruin the opportunity to get drafted.
Yeah, but you're also having friends who play college sports. You also understand that these kids are going out here and they can't even afford a damn jersey with the name on the back of it.
No, and that's why I say I get it.
A ton of money off of them.
I get it. So
I support it. Lovecraft Country was canceled by HBO. Did you watch it?
No.
So Lovecraft Country.
I heard it's okay. I'm not, but I didn't hear like.
It's a really good show, but they were getting ready to really get into critical race theory, which is shocking that HBO canceled it because it was literally the best show on HBO.
Because HBO don't want no problems.
One of Tupac's associates, an outlaw, stated that Jada asked Tupac not to beat up Will Smith.
I've heard that by her before. Something similar to that.
Listen, with all due respect to Tupac, Will Smith is 6'2", 6'3", weigh about 2 something, and son from Philly. Cut that out.
What does that mean?
Cut that out. Do you see how big? Listen. Will Smith ain't no punk. It's rites of passage when you come out of Philly. Philly don't garner no punks. We don't raise no punks out here, yo. Don't nobody listen.
I can't listen. Listen, first of all, Tupac was he's from New York. Okay. Now he was little. He lived in New York.
Tupac is from Baltimore, Maryland.
However,
and I mean that as a Tupac fan. Tupac is from Baltimore, Maryland. Continue.
At the end of the day, I don't know if he would have beat Will, but I definitely think he would have gave him a run for his money.
I ain't saying give him a run for his money, but Will Smith is still Will Smith, and y'all gonna stop playing Will Smith to the back like he's just some kind of sucker. Like Will ain't got no hands.
Will wouldn't have fought him.
Like Will ain't got no hands. So what I said. Lastly, before we get out of here, what you listening to? What you watching?
I'm watching. Still watching Manifest. On is it Netflix? And did you ever see Great Enemies?
No.
With oh gosh, I just went blank. What's my girl? Taraji P. Henson.
No.
True story. It's a true story. Really good. I actually just got into that today. It's not a series though, but it's a movie, and then it's more like a racial background, but it's a true story about how they integrated school systems and so forth. I like those kind of movies. I like movies but I don't like too much of that racism movie, but like it was a touching story, especially because it was true. Listening to Not listening to anything right now. Just watching. I'm not listening to anything.
Yeah. I have been binge watching Celebrity IOU. I'm an HGTV buff. Okay. And it's got the Scott brothers, the celebrities or whatever, the Scott brothers, the builders, the twins, where they team up with these celebrities, and these celebrities are like giving back to people really, really close to them. Okay. And so every episode is like they're doing like this major makeover over some part of their house. Yes. So I've been watching that, which is really good. It's addictive. I actually finished like the whole first season this weekend while I was writing. Still listening to the Tyler Creator album, listening to Anderson .Paak, my Ventura album. Those are constantly in play.
Good. So good. And I'm listening to the Her. I do like the Her new album.
Her.
And what was I going to say? So we're talking about listening, what we're watching. Oh, did you go see Fast 9? 5-9? F9?
No, I have not.
Oh, I heard it was excellent. I'm gonna go see that. This weekend.
Let me know how it is because
you don't like the Fast Furious series.
It's not that. I mean, they ain't been Fast and Furious since like 3.
I want to say like 5, but okay.
It's like 3. They ain't been Fast and Furious since like 3. Yeah, they've been on the run. Son to work for the FBI, but
I heard this was totally different compared to the last few, and this was much, much better. So
I've seen in the damn preview, John Cena caught a car, which I didn't believe, but my little brother was telling me, "Yo, John Cena catches a car in the preview." Come on, son, a car fan? What's Fast and Furious about that? Huh? No, I'm not trying to hear it.
So I'm gonna go see that. I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, that's it. How's summer going for you though? We're like halfway through.
Busy making changes. We're definitely going to talk about it in one of the upcoming episodes. Making changes with everything that's happened. If you're close to me, this past year and a half has definitely been rough. Starting this podcast was not only therapeutic, but something that I didn't realize that I needed. Mm-hmm. And I just definitely want to focus on this and continue to see it go places, letting go of my fear of public speaking because I want to be Regis Philbin. I plan on being in my 50s and waking you up in the morning live with Wildress. All right. Definitely. So we got a lot of things we're working on. I'm excited to do it, but we definitely appreciate you all for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Another episode, son. Episode 9, episode 10 coming up. Yo, we double digits.
Double, not trouble. But thank you for watching. We appreciate your support and continued listening and viewership and liking, and look out for our social media pages and all that good stuff.
As always, keep the main thing the main thing. Stay out of trouble. We love you.
Peace.